And the best new artist is LeAnn Rimes.
Before we begin, if you want to see music bios or more good videos like this, hit the subscribe button. Also, I've started a Patreon account. On here you get more copyrighted material and they'll be uploaded 48 hours prior to YouTube. If you want to support or visit, link is in the description. And without further ado, on to our feature presentation. Margaret LeAnn Rimes was born on August 28, 1982 in Jackson, Mississippi, the only child of Wilbur and Belinda Rimes. Wilbur was a talented singer, and despite never pursuing a career in music, he carried his musical traits to his only daughter. At the early age of 2, she sang "Jesus Loved Me," and her father was very impressed. He enrolled his daughter in vocal and dance lessons, and by the age of 5, she was performing in talent shows, which she won thanks to a tap dancing routine. After winning the talent show, her dad started to take her seriously and became her de facto manager and producer. They moved to Dallas, Texas, and would be booked regularly on Johnny High's Country Music Review. They did this to get her name out there. She also performed the national anthem for the Dallas Cowboys regularly. In 1991, LeAnn Rimes released her debut album, Everybody's Sweetheart, independently. And thanks to this album, LeAnn got discovered by promoter Bill Mack. Her father Wilbur asked Mack if he had any songs he could give to LeAnn. Mack had one called Blue. It was a song that he recorded for himself back in 1958, but it wasn't successful. So he pitched it on to Patsy Cline, but she was unable to record it due to her untimely plane crash in 1963. Blue will be placed on her second independent album, All That. When Blue started to get pushed to local radio, it eventually landed on Nashville radio, and that's when Curb Records came in and offered LeAnn Rimes a recording contract, and at 13 years old, she signed. The next year, she released her major label debut album, Blue. It had a re-recorded version of Blue, however, some stations kept playing the original version. Whatever the case was, Blue reached number 10 on the country charts and crossed over to number 26 on the Hot 100. Blue had one more major single called One Way Ticket, and that gave LeAnn her first number 1 hit on the country charts, despite failing to chart on the Hot 100. Blue the album was a massive success, going 6 times platinum. In 1997, she won 2 Grammys for Best Female Country Vocal Performance for Blue, and the coveted and somehow cursed Best New Artist. And with this, she became the youngest to ever win Best New Artist at 14, and she also became the first country artist to win said award, and she did all this while having a 104-degree fever. Sometime after winning the Grammy, she met with iconic songwriter Diane Warren. She was working on a soundtrack for the movie Con Air and had LeAnn Rimes in mind for one of the singles. That single was How Do I Live? Then things get a little odd. When Diane Warren presented the song to executives, they wanted someone else recording it, as if they felt LeAnn wasn't mature enough to do the song. So they recruited Trisha Yearwood to record the song instead, and that version made Con Air. But Diane and LeAnn wanted to release their version, and knowing country radio was going to play the Yearwood version, they decided to release the song to pop radio. The gamble worked massively, and the song reached number 2 on the Hot 100 and lasted 69 weeks on the charts. Nice. And that became the longest running female song in chart history at the time. Trisha Yearwood's version was also successful, going number 2 on the country charts and number 23 on the Hot 100, and Yearwood won a Grammy for Best Female Country Performance, in which Rimes' version was also nominated for. In 1997, she released her 4th studio album, You Light Up My Life, inspirational song. The album was filled with covers while featuring some original material, and despite having How Do I Live on the album was negatively reviewed by critics. But despite these critics, the album still went 4 times platinum. And what made things worse was that her parents got a divorce and was finalized by decade's end. In 1998, she released her 5th studio album, Sitting on Top of the World, and the album featured the song Commitment, and that reached number 4 on the country charts. Then she got an opportunity to record for the Quest for Camelot soundtrack, and the song was called Looking Through Your Eyes. Written by David Foster, the song reached number 18 on the Hot 100.
Here in the night, I see the sun.
Third was Nothing New Under the Moon, and that reached number 10 on the country charts. And even though it was another negatively reviewed album, the project still went platinum. And this is where she started to date actor Andrew Keegan and moved to Los Angeles. But in 2000, LeAnn Rimes sued her father/manager/main producer, Wilbur, as she alleged that he took $7 million from her over 5 years. She also sued Curb Records as she wanted out of the contract. While the lawsuit with her father was settled out of court, her lawsuit with Curb Records was unsuccessful. And upon hearing the ruling, LeAnn mouthed the words, "I hate you," to her father. But fortunately, she was able to rework her contract with Curb Records. Back to the music, she contributed songs for the Jesus miniseries on the song I Need You. The song reached number 8 on the country charts and number 11 on the Hot 100. And for the movie Coyote Ugly, she did 4 songs on the soundtrack. One of those was Can't Fight the Moonlight, which was more pop oriented than her previous works. The song reached the top 10 in various countries, but just missing it in the United States at number 11. You can try to resist, try to hide from my kiss. But her relationship with Andrew Keegan came to an end after 3 years of dating, citing scheduling differences. Not long after, she met dancer Dean Shermay, and they became engaged and married in 2002. At the wedding was her father, whom they had a falling out years earlier, and they decided to reconcile. She also reconciled with her label Curb Records by renegotiating a new deal. She celebrated this new deal by releasing her 7th album, Twisted Angel. The album saw the departure of the country sound for more crossover pop songs, but like with Jewel's Intuition, the move was met with negative reviews and the album failed to spawn any top hits. So she went back to the lab and returned to country with her 9th album, That Woman. And that album spawned 3 top 10 country songs in Nothing About Love Makes Sense, Nothing About Love is Less and Confusing and Weird. Probably Wouldn't Be This Way, I Probably Wouldn't Be This Way, I Probably Wouldn't Hurt, and Something Gotta Give, as This Woman went gold. LeAnn once again moved to Los Angeles to focus on a television movie career. And in 2009, she filmed a Lifetime movie called Northern Lights, and she had a co-star named Eddie Cibrian. The two got close, but the problem was that Eddie was married to TV personality Brandi Glanville, and they shared 2 children. Should be noted that LeAnn was separated with her husband during the move to LA, and Brandi found out about the affair when press posted pictures of LeAnn having lunch with Eddie, and she filed for divorce as a result for the affair. LeAnn initially denied the cheating allegations until owning it, and she will file for divorce with her husband, and it was finalized in 2010. And the next year, LeAnn Rimes will marry Eddie Cibrian. In 2011, she released her 12th album, Lady and Gentleman, a cover album. The album featured the song Swingin', and that was nominated for Best Female Country Performance, the final year that award was given at the Grammys. In 2013, she released her final album for Curb with Spitfire, and that album mostly talked about the affair with her now husband, but the album itself wasn't successful. In 2014, she and Eddie did a reality show called LeAnn and Eddie on VH1. In 2020, she did the 4th season of The Masked Singer as Sun, winning that season. And the music hasn't stopped either. She released Remnants in 2016, Chant the Human and Holy in 2020, and God's Work in 2022. Her most recent years have been seen on The Voice International. She was a panel on The Voice 13 for Australia and UK. LeAnn is also an advocate for psoriasis, a skin disease that causes skin cells to develop faster than usual, causing flaky skin. She even wrote 2 children's books with Jag and Jag's New Friend. LeAnn became a veteran in country music before she was legal to drink, paving the way for young women in country music as she is still performing and still touring. And that's what happened to LeAnn Rimes. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.